Okay, we're here with Charlie from Americans for Peace and Tolerance. Charlie, tell me about Americans for Peace and Tolerance.
Americans for Peace and Tolerance is an interfaith group, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, who care very much about the radicalization of the historically moderate Muslim population in America. And here in Boston, what's happened is, and it's happening here in Boston, what's happened is that a very radical group came in and purchased a very deep discount, a piece of land in Roxbury, the black section of Boston, and built a $16 million mosque. The group that built that mosque was connected to people connected to terrorism and hatred. And the people who run that mosque right now is called the Muslim American Society, are said by federal authorities to be an overt arm of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is the epicenter of all jihadi activity practically in the world.
Now, we're here at the courthouse in Boston. There's the courthouse seal. There's some protesters outside supporting Tariq. I understand you were counter-protesting earlier today with ACT?
Yes. ACT Boston and the APT work together, as we do around the country with ACT. We are protesting because here's a man, Tariq Al-Hana, who's been accused of plotting to machine gun shoppers at a mall in Attleboro, the Emerald Square Mall in Attleboro. He's a man who has he watched the beheadings of Americans. He watched the American soldiers have their bodies sliced open and set on fire. And he said, that's a Texas barbecue. I want more barbecue sauce. We have to do more of that. He's a man who said he follows Osama bin Laden. And so we're protesting that the people who are supporting him can't possibly be moderates. Even if they were worried, as they say, that Islamophobia and we have to make sure he gets a fair trial, fair enough. But they should be shunning him. They should be condemning what he says. And instead they're making him a role model for the children, the Muslim children of Boston. And that is horrific. Where can this lead to?
Now, you've had, I understand, a contingent from the Occupy Boston is here in support of Tariq. Are you a little bit surprised to see the Occupy Boston forces allying with them?
First of all, there's a few of them. I didn't see many of them. There's a few. But, the crazy left, I don't mean the regular left, but the fringe left has united with Islamists all throughout the world. In Europe, it's the Left Muslim Alliance that's against Israel and democracy. And in America as well. On college campuses, it's a radical left, radical Muslim alliance. And that's because, well, they both believe in very different things. Think about bikinis or free love.
And homosexuality.
They still, both of them hate capitalism, hate America, and hate true democracy, I think. And so on that basis, they have allied.
From what I understand, the Christian population of Arab lands such as Afghanistan, Iraq, and Egypt have been departing at incredible rates. Was this due to the Islamization of the area?
Absolutely. I worked for years on the issue of South Sudan, where in the north, the Islamist government slaughtered 3 million Christians and enslaved them. Arab men were sent to shoot black African village men, they captured the women and children, and they enslaved them. And just recently, South Sudan was able to break away and become the newest nation, and it's a kind of an anti-jihadi nation. It's a Christian nation that was formed to defend the Christian population in South Sudan. The same thing is happening, well, similar pressures exist and dynamics exist in Egypt, where the Copts, C-O-P-T-S, Copts, who actually preceded Islam in Egypt, are now only 10% of the population, and they are having their churches burned by the Islamists. All this whole business about the Arab Spring turns out to be, false hopes.
Now, I saw a story today out of Denmark where Sharia compliant zones are actually being created within Denmark. There's a lot of people who poo-poo the idea of Sharia law here in America. Do you poo-poo that?
Well, no, I think it's a long-term goal of the Islamists all over Western societies in Europe. They've been there longer and they have much more traction than here. But the long-term goal of radical Islam is to create a one-world caliphate that is Muslim rule, and they do that by setting up pockets. So, you know, as you say, Sharia-compliant zones would be the first little bubbles of this, and it hasn't happened in America yet. However, there have been cases in American law courts where judges have said in a family dispute among Muslim husband and wife that Sharia law and not American law should apply. I don't know if any of those things have stood challenges and repeals, but you can see that this is their goal. So I think we need to be aware of that.
Now, you were here protesting today again. I missed you guys by about 15 minutes. Do you plan on being here again and protesting throughout the trial, or just occasionally?
Occasionally, if there are news events that we need to, if new things break, it's a way for us to get to the press. So we don't have any particular plans at the moment.
Was there a particular reason why you chose today to protest? I mean,
yes.
The weather certainly wasn't a good day for it.
It was because we knew that the so-called Free Tariq Mahana group was going to come out here in force. And so we wanted to provide a counter voice to them, and we did.
Charlie, thank you very much for your time. And where can people get more information on this?
If people would go to our website, Peace and Tolerance, PEACEAND, tolerance.org, they would see amazing film footage of the kind of speeches that are given in mosques in Boston. Stunning things. Christianity is theological filth. There was no Holocaust. The Jews are out to kill us. How to beat your wife. These are things that are being taught in the Boston Muslim community, and no one wants to say anything about it because they're all afraid. They're all politically, correct, and they're afraid of being sued like the Globe was, like the Herald was. So this is the problem, that the news it's very hard to get past that, to get to the populace. And so we have a website that has stunning videos of this happening.
All right. Well, thank you very much.